evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Watch Soup. I am your co-host, Bobby Legs here, and my co-host here to join me this evening is Clayton from the Watchdog Podcast. Hey, Clayton, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, doing well. How are you, sir?
Good, good, man. What's new? What are you wearing on wrist?
What's
How are
new?
your
I don't
mind?
know.
What's going on?
I hate to wish the summer away, but I can't wait for football season.
Oh yeah,
I
me too.
really, it's
Me
about
too.
time now. It's 2 weeks. I think kickoff game is 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
And boy, yeah, I hate to wish these last warm days of summer away, but oh man, bring it on. Bring on the fall. I'm
Yep.
wearing oh, I'm so sorry. I'm wearing the Grona, the manual one today.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Look, it's been like kind of cool in my area. I don't know. It's probably been cool. I mean, like meaning that it's been in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been experiencing. Well, anyway, and man, man, I love that. I mean, like it's the end of August and we're barely like getting the mid 70s here. It's just such a treat for me because I really, really dislike the heat. And we went through a little spell this summer here with some heat, and it's just like, ah, man, I just can't. I just have a hard time with it, man. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that the hopefully we can ride this out for the rest of summer. I doubt it. I'm sure summer's going to try to like get one heat wave in before the end of the season. But I am excited about football. Hey, listen. Tell the chat you alluded to it last week, or you said you were going to do it, but you did a podcast with Mrs.
Oh,
Watchdog podcast.
yes.
How did
Yes.
that go?
Well, I think Keith, I heard from Keith today. He said it was better than most podcasts he's listened to with a wife joining because she gave great answers and it was
That's
easy
great.
for me to play off of that with follow-ups. And we crack each other up. We talk a lot because we don't have kids, so we just
Yeah.
stare and talk at each other. That's all we do. So we're kind of used to it by now. And yeah, she took shots at me, I took shots at her. That's kind of how it goes. Just playful. But yeah, I thought it was a fun conversation. It went by, it went well. I was pleasantly surprised with her answers for her being so apprehensive to do it. And
Yeah.
I thought she nailed it. I thought she did great.
That's great. I can't wait to listen. I'm gonna listen in tomorrow for sure. Hey, I got my evening watch. Oh, there,
Oh, there
sorry,
you
the
are.
camera. There I am. The Richeville from GP Richeville. Love this watch. Love this watch. It was
Looks so good.
yeah, yeah. I had a quieter evening on the kid front, even though they were here. They were more subdued. So I put on the evening watch
Yep.
a little early, made sure I got it got it on there. Hey, let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll jump right in to the soup. Let's say hello to the Ladle Legion. The Ladle Legion. Is that what, no? Is that what?
Kipper Snack Kids, I think.
Oh, you. Oh, I can't believe you brought up the fish. Can't fish. There's gonna be these guys
Uh,
are. I think they had enough. Hey, there's Mr. Finney. How you doing, Ladle
Ladle
Lickers?
Lickers.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, Ladle
Excellent.
Legion, I think is the official name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Finney. Ladle Legion is it's official. All right. Hey, Marcel wearing his IWC Portuguese annual calendar this evening. Hey, Fedora Jam, and he's back for canned fish. That's great. And horology, of course. Hey, Mr. Time Hill is here. Hi, Steve. What's going on? Rick's here. What's up, Rick? Good to
Hello.
see you. And Mr. Wilson, how you doing? All right. Hey, let's jump right in. I think it's your time to go first
It
today.
is. Yes.
Um, all right. Yeah. Hey, Britt Pearce. Swatch Group is declining and we can't ignore it. Take it away, Clayton.
Yeah, I know Mike from This Watch, That Watch did a video on
Mm,
this topic as well, but hers was half the length. So
yeah,
I went with
right,
hers.
right.
I love him. I love him, but he is challenging to take notes for. And Britt is a very fast talker. So this was also daunting. But again, half the time. So I went the easy way out. Sorry, Ladle Legion, if that disappoints you. But anyway, yes, she says the Swiss watch industry is in a difficult place right now.
Mm,
We are in the midst of a luxury slowdown. China is accounting for a huge part of that deceleration. Switzerland has been hit with some of the harshest US tariffs at 39%. Over the last 15 years, luxury watch houses have gone mainstream with their presence on social media and the swell of the pandemic bubble in 21 and 22. We are on the other side of that now, but meeting a full slowdown in watch buying. Britt recently watched a Bloomberg video on the issues that Swatch Group is facing, and that was the inspiration for this video. It was a little broad, it was more targeted toward the Bloomberg audience. So she has tailored this video for her watch loving audience. The London Stock Exchange Group has confirmed that Swatch Group is currently the most shorted stock in Europe.
Mm.
Profit was down almost 90%. I think I got that right from her video. I think it was like 88% in the first half of this year. They are now trading at a 16-year low. She's going to look at the 5 big reasons why Swatch Group is struggling so much, even when it comes to comparing it with other luxury conglomerates. Number one, the Chinese slowdown. These past 12 months have been known as the Great Luxury Slowdown. Is that official? I never heard that before, but
Yeah, I've
we're
never heard
calling
that either. Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's what we're calling it. And it's hit many of the conglomerates. LVMH experienced a 38% drop in profits between April 24 and 25. There is an economic slowdown, and when times are tough, people buy less luxury goods. They do more sensible things with their money, like, hey, save it. Uh, the problem shows the purchasing power of China. China imported 25.8 less percent watches in 2024 than it did in 2023. Yeah, starting all the way back with the pandemic, I think just less Chinese tourists traveling
Mm.
means less watch buying. Really understand how huge China is and how much of an impact that has. Number two, premiumization. If we hone in on Swatch, the premiumization problem affects their brands. At the lower end, we have Swatch, Tissot, Certina, Hamilton. Then the next rung is Longines, Rado. And then the upper end being Omega, Blancpain, Gio. And then the most premium brand being Breguet. Every single brand under their leadership is in decline, which stinks. Several of them have fallen in the Morgan Stanley report since 2017. The only bright spot has been Swatch, that's re entered the top 20 in 2023 due to the popularity of the Moon Swatch. There's a clear trend towards premiumization. Watches with a retail price exceeding 50,000 Swiss francs accounted for 33.5% of Swiss watch exports. Unfortunately, that just isn't a lot of what the Swatch Group offers, right? They don't have many watches or any watches in that ultra
Mm.
stratosphere. Um, the ultra expensive market is seeing growth while other mid-tier market is contracting. It makes sense with what we discussed earlier. When times are leaner, normal people tighten their belts like us. This does not affect the ultra wealthy. They don't feel these downturns like we do, which we can see through the sales. She made a recent video about recession indicators. One of the big indicators to her was Watches and Wonders is giving out less press passes now and instead giving those to ultra wealthy super
Mm.
collectors instead. So that I think that says a lot. Loss of relevancy. A bit of an op-ed. She thinks Swatch has lost their way, the brand itself, at the lowest and most core levels. If you go for a walk in your city, how many people do you see wearing a Swatch? I actually saw a guy wearing a moon swatch at Lululemon the other day, so I actually did see one. Uh, how many people do you see wearing like the retro Casios, like the
Mm.
A168? I see a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
I go to some like hipster bars once in a while. There's like a horror movie bar I go to, and the bartenders are all wearing those vintage. Baristas at coffee shops are all wearing those too. See a lot of those. Um, the entire existence of the Swatch Group is because during this quartz crisis, Swatch took low cost quartz technology and created silly fun watches that captured the moment. They recaptured it again with the Moon Swatch, but in general, they have struggled to create things that speak to the general population. Tariffs, she doesn't spend a lot of time here. US hit Switzerland with a 39% tariff. It's still in place while they work out a lower number. It's going to have a huge negative effect on the industry if it stays there. Now we wait to see the effects. That's all she has to say about that, quoting Forrest. And five, the Hayek family conspiracy. Now, this was a little juicy. I like this part the best. She really wanted to talk about this the whole video. It's not news to anyone who's been following Swatch closely over the last couple of years. Nick Hayek has expressed the appeal of taking Swatch Group private. There is a theory that they are taking the stock on purpose with the intent of buying it all back at a cheaper rate. They have not come out and said they are trying to do that or going to do that, but they have entertained that it would be a good idea. It's not outside the realm of possibility. They control 44%. The family does. They keep buying more and more of the company as well. Swatch, she goes back to this, is the most shorted stock according to Reuters, meaning investors are betting against the luxury conglomerate. And then she closes here, and a lot of talking. Three reasons why the Hayeks could find it attractive to go private: competing visions for the future, the conglomerate structure isn't working anymore, and family control and nostalgia. One, competing visions. For years now, there's been a competing vision between the Hayeks and investors. Investors see the premiumization of the luxury watch industry at large, and they want to capitalize on that. They want to make money. They want to see Swatch invest more in their premium offerings like Breguet, Blancpain, etc. And I think a lot of us agree with that strategy, right? We have talked about, and I know you have a lot, about Swatch Group is just screwing up Breguet big time. They're dropping the ball on one of the most legendary brands of all time,
Yeah.
right? So I think we agree with the investors there. Um, yeah, many of us have been upset with the stewardship of brands like Breguet not being used to their full potential. Hayek family, on the other hand, has wants to stick to their roots. Nick Hayek has said that watches just aren't for the rich, and their identity is affordability. Two, the luxury conglomerate model as we know it today just isn't working. The long and short of it is that huge entities like LVMH and Swatch Group are struggling. The business model that was created in the 80s, buying up struggling luxury brands and reviving them under one group, then use those heritage names to sell goods, it's just not working anymore. And they have to adapt to the times, or they will become like the brands they bought up 40 years ago that were struggling. And okay. How are we feeling about this so far? I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No, no, no. I'm interested. Please
Okay.
continue. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And then finishes up with control. Being privatized might be the way forward to the luxury for the luxury segment. To privatize means you are no longer subject to the whims of investors, and you can focus on long-term success, even if that means taking a hit in the short term. The Hayek family does feel a special kinship for Swatch Group. It was founded by their father. They don't want to explain their vision to investors. There is a push pull in the watch industry between creating beautiful works of art and making money, right? I think a lot of us feel that romantic side. But at the end of the day, these are businesses with shareholders they have to answer to. So they have to make money. It's why things like the Moon Swatch happen,
yeah,
even though Omega collectors may not love it. That's why. So yeah, there is definitely a push and pull there. Um, Maybe the Hayeks believe the way out of this downturn is family control. The long term strategy of focusing on product over profit can't be done while answering to shareholders. And that's pretty much where she ends and just says again, Bloomberg was the inspiration for this video. And then she was going to go and check out Mike's video from this watch, that watch. So,
yeah,
yes, lots of talking there.
yeah.
I see the chat going crazy here. How do you feel about Swatch Group and what's going on? I think a lot of us have said for a long time, Breguet, all these brands, they're
Yeah.
dropping the ball on them. Should they go private?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I'm, I'm not a very, very smart and savvy kind of guy. I'm sure, the Hayek family, has a plan and sees that going private is probably the best route forward if those rumors are true. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that the philosophy there is like more affordability, right? You know what I mean? Like watches are for everyone,
Yep.
and so like having these higher end brands, I guess, in this conglomerate structure doesn't make sense. And obviously, we're seeing that they're not focusing much of their attention, or at least their marketing, to them. I mean, yeah, I mean they've come up with some newer versions of the Blancpain I mean of the 55s for Blancpain, and
Yep.
Breguet doesn't see seems to have somebody in charge there that seems to know what he's doing, and wants to help out and improve the brand, although he may be handcuffed from the parent
Yeah.
company.
How much
Yeah,
can he do?
how much can you do?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's just maybe they sell off these higher end brands, focus on Omega and down, meaning
Yep.
in the affordability scale. and that's their bread and butter. Although at the same time, they're increasing prices supposedly, or that's the rumor, for their Omega watches as well. And we've seen that over the course of time, especially if we use as the Speedmaster as a benchmark. 5 6 years ago, $5,000 new Speedmasters, they were, that was a price, and now you're
Right.
seeing like up to like 8,000, and
Oh yeah.
maybe the watch was severely underpriced all those years. I don't know. It just seems like when it comes to the pricing of brands like Omega, raising the prices, focusing on these higher, and I mean for us as watch enthusiasts who are middle class and I enjoy watches and would like to purchase more watches. It's just the world as it is, it just doesn't make sense for us to start spending that kind of money right now, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they're like, okay, this is what we're dealing with, and 33%, we're shipping out 33% of our watches are for high ends over $50,000. Seems that they are catering, and this is like their way moving forward, which I think is very, very short-sighted, because economic times, whether they're rough or not, it's very cyclical. There's going to be a moment in time where it's going to be much better economic situation. It just moves like that. That's the way you have a bull market, then you have a bear market. You have a bull market, then you have a bear market. But maybe, hey, maybe they see something different. Maybe they see, like, the way, the deficits are, and debt is growing at an astronomical pace, not just in the United States but other parts of the world. The money printing and people with assets are benefit from the money printing. Maybe that's just that why they see their audiences right now. You know what I mean? And then leave the bottom feeders with the Casio G Shocks, right? Because I see those all the time. I look at everybody's watch,
Me
and
too.
I see so many Timex, I see so many G Shocks, I see so many Casios, more than anything else. Every once
Outside
in
of
a
Apple
while,
watches.
yeah, and Apple watches, and,
Yeah.
and every once in a while, I see like a maybe like a luxury watch. But yeah, you know, yeah. I mean, and I don't know if it's just I don't think it's just with Swatch. I think there's other conglomerates who are probably facing the same issue. Now, LVMH has got other stuff going on, right? They have like
Right.
they have the jewelry, the aspect, they have the leather goods aspect, and so the watches are not all of their, not all of their focus, right? They're
Yeah.
they're diversified a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. And the thing is, like, I don't know if I don't care. Like in all seriousness, like you know what? Like I don't feel sorry for Swatch.
No.
I don't feel sorry for these other big brands. I mean, like, it is what it is. I mean, this is the business that they've chosen to be in, right?
Right.
And so I don't know, man. I'm all over the place. I mean, this is a hard this is a hard. I give credit to Britt doing this video. This is a hard video to break down.
Oh yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
topic anyway. You know what I
It
mean?
was,
Because
I
there's
felt
so
like it was a lot
many.
of talking, and she just think of the work she put into this. I mean, gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things to hit, because you do have, you know, um, the Chinese slowing down their purchases, and she brought those statistics to the table, right?
And a lot of Swatch groups, they love Longines, they
They
love
love Longines and
Tissot,
Tissot. Yep.
so and
Hmm.
Omega to a certain extent too. So man, they're just, and then the Olympics debacle, which she didn't talk about, but
Yeah.
the COVID Olympics didn't happen, which it was also hurt a couple delays for new releases for Omega as well. So yeah, unfortunately, they had a rough few years here in more ways than one.
Yeah. Let's see what's up in the chat. Says rumor has it that Omega is raising their price at the end of the
I
month due to
heard that
tariffs.
too.
This will not help their struggles. And then now, and also you have the tariff situation, right? That's not going to help Swatch,
Yep.
right? I mean, we think they're going to negotiate, and it's not going to be 39% forever, right? We think that, right? And is it 15? Is it going to be 10? We don't know what it's going to be, whatever it is, right? And based on, like, hearing, guys like Federico, and if Christian's on, I don't know if he purchases stuff from outside of the country, but it's going to affect people here, because of of the tariffs, even if it's at 15%, Federico says he has to pass it on to the customer, right? And so that
Yeah.
means like less watches that he's gonna buy from other parts of the world. That means less inventory, and if there's less inventory in general, then like does the secondary market, the prices on the secondary go up? I don't know. It's just so there's a lot going on here,
Yeah.
right? I regularly see a guy that wears Mosers and Blancpains. No, wait, a mirror was involved. Hey, Wayben, what's going on? How you doing? And he's wearing his brand new spanking new, not
Oh,
even
yeah,
a
congrats
day
on that.
old Elaine Silverstein Louis Aurard. Yep, very nice watch. He posted it up on the Bobby Legs Discord. It's a good looking watch. Hey, Robert is here. How you doing? So, like, what do you think? I mean, like, what is your take on it? I mean, like, are you passionate about this one? Like, or are you just like,
Not especially,
yeah,
but I hate to see these brands sort of drifting in the wind. Like, I think
mm,
they have ruined Blancpains. Have they destroyed the value? Like, who's
mm,
going to buy it? They are so dependent financially on the Swatch Group, they can't go on their own. They'll
yeah,
fold. So what's the future of that brand? I agree with you that they probably should offload some of their high-end brands. Like, why did they buy them in the first place? Like, because it seems from what Britt was saying anyway, they are still stuck in the past with the way they want to do things, and they want to offer affordable products. Well, now Omega's going way up, so I'm not sure
yeah,
how true that is, but I think they're putting all of their eggs in the Omega basket now. I mean, gosh, we talked about it. A Speedmaster should not cost $8,500, and it's going to be even more allegedly on September 1st now.
yeah,
What's it going to be? $9,000 for a Sapphire Sandwich Speedmaster? That's ludicrous.
yeah,
That's one of the most popular watches ever, and you're
yeah.
going to price, collectors out of them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, holy mackerel! I'm like, I don't know if that's Mizna. I don't know if that's a canned fish reference, but if it is, kudos. Uh, anyway, yeah. I mean, look, whether they were severely underpriced before or not, the has the watch has in regards to the Speedmaster, and I hate picking on the Speedmaster because it's a great watch, but it kind of just represents this whole thing that's going on with
It's a
Omega.
perfect example of
Yeah.
what in the hell is happening right now.
Has it improved? Are you getting more for your money?
No.
The higher goes, right? So that's the thing. Like it's just like it's kind of a tough pill. So and plus, like rumor has. I mean, like they're not letting their ADs or boutiques do any kind of like big
Discount.
discounts, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like 10% is like the most you hear nowadays,
Yeah.
right? If that for certain watches, right? Not all the watches. I get that.
Well, I
Canadian Watch
talked oh,
Monkey, what's up, buddy? Just picked up my first Grand Seiko, and I am extremely impressed. Congratulations, man.
awesome.
Uh, you were saying,
Oh, yeah, I mean, I talked about the, No Time to Die has gone
mm,
up from 9,200 when I bought mine in 2021, it's now 10,600.
yeah,
Same exact watch. But,
yeah.
so,
I
I
mean, how
mean,
much? I mean, again, how much is that of that is just general inflation, because money they've governments across the world have been printing a crazy
yeah,
amount of money in the last 4 to 5 years, and how much of it is just like kind of like greedy reaching for this super collector class, which is not nothing against the super collectors. I mean that's great. I mean you're able to do that. It's not that I don't have an issue with the super collectors. I have the issue obviously with the brands and what they're charging. It just
I don't
doesn't
think it yeah, I don't
just
think
doesn't
it's
work.
looking good. And
Yeah, and then Fitty making a point like it's a good point, like in the face of these tariffs, raising, because here's the thing, like let's say the tariffs go away, they are not going to reduce their prices. Like they never know, when do people like when do brands, or when do any kind of like product, when do they reduce, like you never see them reduce their prices, they always go up. It's not like, oh,
yeah,
okay, now we're gonna now times are different a little bit, we're gonna cut our prices.
I
um
heard the Omega thing was happening no matter what. Even if it got resolved,
yeah,
it's happening
just
no
not a
matter
good
what.
look, man.
So, yeah.
It's not a good look. Maison, this watch, that watch, take on Swatch is far more analytical and insightful and tries to identify Swatch's problems. Not to say that Brit's video was bad, just different angles. Yeah, no, we get that. We get that.
Yeah. Again, this one's shorter. I already
Yeah,
talked a lot. Imagine
yeah.
how much I would have talked in his video. My goodness.
Oh man, yeah. His videos they're great, and but it's a kind of like you just have it in the background and just like pick up some some
Yeah.
points. Like if you're trying to like break it down for watch tube, it's brutal.
Oof. Yeah, I love him. I mean, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
No slight against Mike whatsoever, but yeah, taking notes,
yeah.
this one was challenging enough.
Okay. Hey, let's jump over to the next video. And this is from British HODL. Now, this is not, he's not a watch guy. This is not a watch themed channel. He is a Bitcoin, um, he does Bitcoin content, right? And so, but I've been watching him for a little while now. He does have quite the collection. I've seen him with an FP Journ on. I mean, he knows his watch. He doesn't talk much about them on his show, but he made a video yesterday, and he was so compelled that he couldn't help himself. He had a friend sold 1 Bitcoin for a Rolex. Now, he had previously recorded this video, and he was really really hot. He was really really upset when he heard this from his friend. But fortunately or unfortunately, the mic wasn't working on that one, and he said he acknowledged that maybe that was a good thing because he probably had said some things that that weren't probably nice. So he had at least a day to calm
He
down.
was pretty mean in this one, I
But
thought.
he's
So,
but
yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've watched him before. This is kind of like he's like this. He's intense.
Yeah.
He's intense, right? I mean, like he kind of like he encourages people. His whole thing is that he encourages people to get to 1 Bitcoin, right? And the way he hypes it up, I mean, like he's in your face, he's angry, he's obnoxious. It's just the way he delivers, and that's
Yeah.
some people like it, some people whatever don't. But he wants to talk to this because he knows that this is something a lot of his subscribers they're going to come to this moment, and he'll explain to along further. He has a friend who, like I said, sold 1 Bitcoin that he had bought in 2016 for a John Mayer Daytona. Basically, he didn't use this word, but it sounded like this was like a Grail watch for this guy, right? Now, his friend is financially he's fine. This is not. I mean, he's got more Bitcoin. He's got a lot more money. Um, but he still was a little bit upset about him making this purchase, and it actually caused him to reflect on why he's holding on to some of the timepieces that he has. So again, he was filled with rage, and and then he's been for the last 3 years he's been preaching to people to get to that 1 Bitcoin. And if you're not there, he can't help you, right? This is for people that his rage is towards the millionaires, right? Which is not us. Well, I mean, not me. But his rage is towards the millionaires who have the ambition to have general generational wealth. So it's not necessarily in general about anybody, but it's for those people who have some coins, right? Have some money now, have a couple million here and there, but are striving to get to that point where they have enough money for general wealth, right? And so he's quick to warn them that now and this and we're going to get a little geeky here with Bitcoin, right? So follow me, chat. I apologize, I know it's mainly a watch channel, but I think it's going to come around, and hopefully it makes a little sense. We are at a moment now with the Bitcoin adoption that there's predators, he calls them predators, out there buying up Bitcoin. And what he means by that is like for the longest time, Bitcoin was like kind of like a grassroots kind of thing where retail people like me and you would be buying Bitcoin and holding it. The institutions weren't involved. Institutions like BlackRock, as he mentioned, um, you know, um, treasury companies like a MicroStrategy, uh, countries around the world, like like United Arab Emirates or Bhutan or El Salvador, who are who are mining and buying Bitcoin and to create a reserve. These guys are in the system here now, and they are hoping, right? This is his theory. They are hoping that these millionaires who want to build generational wealth will get bored of Bitcoin because you're not seeing like these huge volatility, these huge swings upwards in the last like year or two, that they're going to get bored with Bitcoin, and they're going to think that we're already at the top, and they're going to start to cash in on some of these Bitcoins to fund their lifestyle, and not knowing that we're actually playing into the hands of these bigger institutions who are just trying to gobble up as much Bitcoin as possible. And while they do that, you are basically just feeding into your own emotions and giving your Bitcoin pretty much away for a watch, right? You're giving it away
Dopamine.
for the dopamine hit, right? Exactly. They're banking on the dopamine hit. Thank you for reminding. Yes, exactly. So he's like, yes, Bitcoin is boring now, typically, right? It's going to keep on. It's going to keep moving sideways and then up, sideways and up, sideways and up. But it's going up and up. The institutions don't want big swings like a 400, like a 400x. I mean, a 40 or 400% movement in 3 months, or an 80 percent downturn in the next 3 years. They don't want that. They want steady up, steady up. And so by you getting bored with it and getting rid of your Bitcoin, you're just making them even richer and richer. And he said, like, they if they what was it, the line that he was saying? He was saying that these predators that they're buying today, like if they woke up uh, in the morning, living the dream that you envision for yourself, that they would kill themselves, because like this is like not, I mean,
Ouch.
this is nothing. This is nothing to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your little life means nothing to them. Yeah. So that was pretty rough. Another thing here, he's saying that he was so angry about his friend selling that Bitcoin that he actually pulled up some money. I don't know how true this is, but this is what he said. He said he tried to find as much extra money as he could to buy a Bitcoin, and so he told his friend, is like, while you're smoking your cigar and looking at your Daytona, I'm sitting on the gains of your Bitcoin, right? And so, like, what I think he's trying to say here, and is like, very opinionated and let's call it enthusiastic way, is that if you have a plan, right, and if you have some money right now, and this actually could work for any of us, right, and this is some of the thinking that I'm also thinking about. If you have a plan of where you want to be in the future, right? If you want to create generational wealth. Now, I don't think I'll ever be able to get to that point, but I mean, if you're in that position now to launch into generational wealth, and you have, your investments, and you have Bitcoin, that spending that Bitcoin now to buy whatever you want to get that dopamine fix is going to cost you, in essence, millions and millions and millions of dollars down the road. And he's got a point. Look, there's people who are going to take who own Bitcoin, who are going to take what they call lifestyle chips. They're going to cash it in, and they're going to try to fund their lifestyle. And that's, that's perfectly fine. And I don't think that's what necessarily what he's arguing here. He's arguing that those people who want to build that generational wealth, people who are building generational wealth right now, should not be thinking about cashing in their any kind of investment, or especially their Bitcoin right now, just to get a watch, right? Just to get a watch, or just to get the Lambo, right? Um, yeah, it's
Yeah.
saving it, and it's having something down the road, delay gratification, basically. And this makes a lot of sense to me. You know what I mean? Like I had this experiment about a year ago, where if I took the some of the money that I would want to save, or use to buy like the Geo panel reserve, or the Laureato, if I just invested it in Bitcoin, like maybe in a couple years, I could not only just buy the Laureato, but I'll be able to buy the Geo
Yeah.
with the earnings. And so far, what it is, it's very, very little, and I've seen the appreciation, and it's beating any kind of other investment I've had in the last year. S&P 500. I mean, like, like if I single pick, like Palantir or Nvidia, maybe it wouldn't beat that. But I mean, we're just talking about a short period of time. Anyway, I get what he's saying, and it makes a whole lot of sense to me. I know you're not down this rabbit hole as far as like I am. You're not down the canned fish rabbit hole like I am. But what did you think? What were you able to parse out of this, Clayton? I mean, I know again, I know you're not a Bitcoin guy, but you could probably apply it to any kind of other
I've
kind of
dabbled. I've
investment.
dabbled in Bitcoin, but never significant investments whatsoever. Like literally dabbled, like a
Yeah,
few hundred, and
yeah,
that's as afraid of. And I did okay, but he would not be happy with me because I eventually just got sick of it and pulled out.
yeah, yeah.
But it was really just nothing whatsoever. So no, a lot of what he said, if you can cut through the anger and some of that, it did make sense. Like he was saying about the Ferrari, like those people, those vultures,
Mhm.
they've had Ferraris for generations. They've had yachts for
Yeah,
decades and decades and decades. So that does make sense to me. But I think like Marceau said, if you're rich, then what's the fun if you're not playing with it a little bit, right? Like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, no,
exactly.
I totally get that. Like, you know what I
If
mean?
it's
Like,
not ruining your finances.
yeah, and I totally get what Marcel is saying is right. And I don't think that's what he's arguing. I think he's arguing about the guy that he
Is
knows
not
wants
rich.
to, or is rich and is trying to get to a certain level where it's generational,
Yeah.
where these billionaires that he's referring
Yes.
to already have the yachts. You know what I mean?
But he
Like,
keeps buying stuff and doesn't
but he
get
ke-
there.
and
Yeah,
he wonders why he doesn't get there,
yeah,
right? So
right.
I think that's the
It makes
guy
sense.
the person, yeah. But
I can
like
tell you
that's
why I
not
don't
every
get there. I spend money on watches.
yeah. I mean,
100%.
and that's not like that's not everybody's goal, right?
Right,
You know, like
right,
of course we want to do well, right? And of course I want to do well, and of course I want to leave something for my kids. But like, is creating generational wealth, although I like the idea, is that my number one priority? No, no.
no,
I also want to live in the moment, right?
right.
And not get too, caught up about the future, where I mean, I could, like, cross the street and get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So like we all have different goals, and I think, like, again, what he's speaking to is about the guy who's like already have a couple
yeah.
million, already doing well, and is trying to create something. Um, let's see here. With Finney, with Bitcoin about 114K, he may have overpaid for that watch. Right, right. Like I was trying to think of, like, like I probably should have looked up what that
What do
watch.
those go for? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
70, 80, or is that too much?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. 7080 sounds right, but I mean,
Yeah,
like, that might have been a couple years ago that I'm thinking about, like, what
yeah.
it was. Yeah, I don't know how much they go for. There is a diamond bezel John Mayer Daytona that is over 200K. Maybe he got one of those.
Yeah.
If that's true, you got a bargain. Yeah. Finney, I know the guy is way up on his investment, but still seems wasteful to throw money away. Don't care how rich you are. Um, yeah. Um, hey, KRJ, what's going on? Canadian Watch Monkey saying, I don't think I will ever be convinced about investing in Bitcoin. Feels very much like a Ponzi scheme. Also, remember that you drive to create generational wealth will be squandered when your kids buy a John Mayer Daytona. Right, right, right. Well, I mean, like, hopefully, if your drive is to create generational wealth, you pass along that knowledge to your kids too, and then hopefully, they're lock, stock, and barrel. Or you just put
Right.
it in a trust, and and have it pay the kids. Right, you don't have them dealing with it. Yeah, I mean, like, I going back to Canadian Mon. I mean, like, look, I mean, that's for people who um, looking from the outside, looking in on Bitcoin. I think a lot of people feel that way, that it's a Ponzi scheme, and I think it's because of the early on there was huge volatility, right? You'd go up 100%, 200%, 1,000% over the course of years, and then down 80% in certain years.
That's when I dabbled.
Yeah,
It was, my goodness. Look at it, 1 hour, yes, I'm doing great. Look at it
yeah,
10 minutes later, like, holy crap, what happened?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
It's not like
that's
that anymore. It's not like that anymore. It's not as volatile. It's boring, as he
well,
said.
no, well, no. I mean, like, because it's not like that as much. we have seen in the last like year or so, it's actually, I was watching some, it's been less volatile in the last year than Nvidia.
Okay.
So that's interesting, right? So the more and more money, the bigger and bigger Bitcoin becomes, the less volatile it is. It's still pretty volatile in a sense that, like if you like getting 5% from like your nice little high interest loan, high interest checking account, if you can get five
Yep.
percent of four in the price. Yeah, I mean, it could go up 20 or 30% in a month or two, and it could go down like 10 or 15%. Yeah, that's possible. But there's a lot of belief that the swings that we saw in the last couple of years, in the previous years, um, the dramatic swings are going to be more muted, with more and more as Bitcoin grows, market cap wise, right?
Okay.
Because it takes so much to move money, that there's so much, that kind of money. When the market cap is only a billion, right? It can fluctuate pretty quickly. But now you're talking that Bitcoin is like 2 trillion, right? So to make that move in any significance up or down, you need to move a whole lot of Bitcoin, and that's just not how Bitcoin works, because it's a finite supply, right? It's not, no country can make more Bitcoin. No country can say, like our dollar, our government could say print more money. You can't
Right.
do that with Bitcoin, right?
Right.
So anyway, that's a different, and I welcome anybody, Canadian Watch Monkey, just go down the rabbit hole in Bitcoin, and see how you feel about it after doing that. Because anyway,
It is scary though to I'd have to learn a lot more about it if I was going to put real money into it. I did
yeah.
not. I did not put real money into it, but if I was going to, I'd definitely have to do my research because, like he's saying, it's a little scary.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's like yeah, I wouldn't call him a Bitcoin maximalist, because I think he invests in other coins and tokens. But yeah, I mean, like, it is a lot. I mean, there's people out there who are putting all their money into Bitcoin, and that's crazy. I
Yeah.
think that's crazy. Just for the fact, not that it's because Bitcoin, it's that kind of diversification. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you kind of want to be diversified, just in case of one part of your investments goes up and down, and maybe the other part
Yep.
goes up, and it keeps you level, in a sense. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested in it. I'm curious about it, and I've done some time researching it, and I think it's probably a good idea to have in everybody's portfolio, whether it be like 1% or 2%. Not financial advice, not
Right.
NFA,
Nope. We have
NFA.
to legally say that.
Yeah.
Give away the legion.
Anyway,
Yeah,
hey,
no, it's
what is?
interesting. It's interesting
Yeah,
for sure. And we have robo investments are doing pretty well.
yeah,
We've dabbled in that a little bit.
yeah,
My wife's is doing really well. So yeah, we've dabbled in things. I'm her brother, who he's great. He does well and he invests
yeah,
diverse, and he lost in Bitcoin early on and he
yeah,
swears off of it. And I think she
yeah,
listens to that. So if I
yeah.
even thought about putting a significant amount of money into it, I'm not sure she'd be a fan, but
See, here's the thing. You have time is your friend, right? So, like, if you are looking for a quick, way to make money, like, first of all, like, 99% of the people can't do that. You know what
right,
I mean? Like, there's very few people in this world who can consistently do that, in my opinion, right? Bitcoin is now for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the kind of investment you want to be in at least 4 or 5 years. If you want to be in it within the 1 year, I say don't even. If you're going to pull your money out in a year, don't do it.
don't
But I
do
would
it.
say that with any stock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would say that with anything, with any investment. Like,
I
nothing
think
is
just like
guaranteed.
any investment, you should not look at it regularly. I think that's
Absolutely. That
scary because it ebbs
that's
and
true.
flows, right? So you just
That's
put
true.
that money in there, just don't look at it for a few years because yeah, if you were to look at your stocks every day
Hmm.
or Bitcoin every day, oh my God, it's
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, I mean, like with like Bitcoin and with like other stocks, like the longer you're in it, I mean, the more chances you have to succeed. Like if I tell you
Yeah,
that in the last 5 years, um, Bitcoin averages around 55% return, or 50, somewhere between 50 and 55% a year, um you'd be like, oh, let me do that. But if you're in that within those 5 years, and there's a stretch where it goes down 30%, you're gonna be like, oh, I lost my, and you're out, right? And you sell
yeah,
because you're frustrated. Of course you're gonna be upset about it, but that's the thing. You just got to keep it in,
long game.
and all. It's a long game, just like with anything else, right?
Yep,
That's how, like, a lot of you have these like 401k millionaires, man. They've been investing for like the last like 30 years, right? That's how you do it, right? I
yep,
mean, because I'm not an expert, right? And so, just keep it there and just see what happens. That's what I say.
yeah.
Anyway, look, yeah, okay, tell me, do you have a favorite canned fish?
Probably sardines.
Yeah,
They are
Deans.
nostalgic for me. Yeah,
By the way, the canned fish community calls them Deans.
Deans. Okay,
Yeah,
Deans.
yeah,
Deans are my jam. I'm gonna
yeah,
try and sound extra cool.
yeah,
Yeah. I think I used to get them in oil.
yeah,
My
yeah,
grandmother, like I
yeah.
was telling you before we went
Strong.
on, canned meats too, like treat and spam. We
Yeah,
would fry up spam. It's actually pretty good
yeah,
fried.
yeah,
But yeah, canned. Now I've heard of people getting like different types of poisoning because they go crazy on the sardines. So just be careful when you go down this
yeah.
canned fish. Yeah. Yeah, I
Poisoning?
think there's trace amounts of arsenic or
Whoa.
other than mercury, perhaps too.
Well, they don't have much mercury in it. See, that, what I've learned: the smaller the fish, the less, and the lower in the food chain you are, the less mercury you have.
Okay.
Like the bit, it's
Yeah.
like when you go higher up, like sharks, right? And
Yeah.
some tuna, and like, and whatnot. I mean, their mercury levels are high because they grow old, right? Right? They
Yeah.
have a longer lifespan,
Right. Right.
and they eat everything underneath them, and that kind of like just builds up in the system, right?
Yeah.
So like anchovies, I hear a
I
lot
love
of version.
anchovies. I'm
Yeah.
allergic. I'm
Oh,
allergic.
oh, you're allergic to anchovies, huh?
Yeah. It came on, I used to love them on pizza, actually, like,
Yeah, so
they're
good.
so salty and so good. The
Yeah.
last time I ate them, my lips and face swole up, and, I'm just afraid to go back, and, like
Yeah,
some shellfish too, I'm
yeah.
allergic to, but, I Googled it here, let me get it back up. Yes, sardines can contain arsenic, a naturally
Interesting.
occurring element that can be harmful in high concentrations.
Well,
Yes.
then I'm just gonna have to, like, rotate
Just
them
take
out.
it easy. Yeah, just be careful. Be careful.
Maybe go with a smoked kipper snacks tomorrow. Yeah, we've been talking about that before. The smoked herring. Maybe some salmon. Trout. Hey,
I like, canned salmon. My grandmother used to,
yeah,
my
like
grand
burgers.
yeah, yep.
Yeah,
There's that, and then
strong.
there's just there's just canned like tuna almost, except it's
Yeah.
canned salmon, but they came in bigger cans.
Yep.
My
Yep.
grandmother would have all when I would come home for college, she would load me up with all this food. She was like a, single at that, my grandfather had passed away and she was
Yeah.
on a low income, so she would
Yeah.
get like free food and everything, and she would just
Yeah.
load me up cans of sardines, cans of
Yeah. Yeah.
salmon, cans of
Yeah.
tuna. Yeah, she would just every time I came home, my backseat was just full of canned goods, these big canned juices. Like, what am I gonna do with this? I'm in a
Now, now
dorm
you
room.
now you lived in the Upper Peninsula, right? Is that where
Yes.
you grew up?
Yeah.
Did you eat a lot of lake fish?
Oh, yeah. Yep,
Oh,
rainbow trout.
ooh,
Oh, yeah. Yep, very good.
oh,
We used to
pike.
go
Any
fishing
pike?
walleye, pike. Pike's
What?
a little bony. Pike
Okay.
is,
Yeah.
so my uncle and I caught one day, huge,
Yeah.
huge, and, we brought my grandfather was actually a retired butcher, so we brought it to him, and, he said, "You have to cut it really well to get all the bones out because it's, yeah, if you just fillet it a certain way, it'll be full of bones and then you won't enjoy eating it," but I think
Yeah.
he cut it well, but yeah, walleye is good.
Mm,
Yeah, a few different types of trout, rainbow trout, lake trout,
yeah.
some bass, um, Yeah, smallmouth, largemouth bass. Yeah, I did not grow up near saltwater at all, so,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm freshwater all the way.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I like a good trout, man. Yeah,
Yeah, trout's
trout's
good.
good.
I go to Whole Foods and they have rainbow trout and lake trout there sometimes, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
nice,
get that,
nice. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Mrs. Legs will pick up some trout from the Whole Foods too, and
Yep.
it's almost like it's almost like when you cook it, it's almost like indistinguishable from like salmon sometimes. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it's just like, ooh, this is good. She does a little, she chops up some garlic and puts like cilantro on it. Oh, so good.
Yeah. We used to go
Yeah,
smelting when,
yeah,
you know what smelt are?
yeah.
They run in the spring,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah.
literally just put a net in the river, and you come up with just a net full of them, and then they're great to f like, splay kind of and then fry. Yeah,
Oh,
they're good. Yeah.
yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Uh,
Oh man. Well, look, hey, we made it. We made it through
fish
another
soup,
episode.
fish soup. Uh,
Fish soup. Yeah, the fish. We got a little fish, little chowder this evening. Speaking of chowder, um, on Sunday, I think our boy Deech is gonna be on.
oh, good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's from up in the Northeast. He probably likes some chowder. I'm gonna have to. I think that's gonna be my thing. When I have people on, I'm gonna ask them like, what's their favorite canned fish.
I have to check out some of these channels, you were mentioning
Yeah,
about
yeah,
canned
dude,
fish.
canned fish food, canned fish files. It's so he's
How many
so good.
subs does a guy like this have?
140,000.
Woo!
Channel's
Wow.
only like 4 years old.
Yeah,
140,000 subs. His
yeah.
Patreon list is amazing. He's got like like a couple hundred people on his
Oh, yeah.
Patreon. They said they send them canned fish. He does unbox he does unboxing sometimes of the canned fish that people send him.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so funny, I'm locked into this watch YouTube world, but it is
Yeah.
funny to see what other interests and how many subscribers
Yeah.
these people have. Like, you remember Kentucky Man? His wife
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
full-time
Oh yeah.
YouTuber, and
Yeah.
she has, like, 500,000
She has
subs about
500,000.
books.
Yeah.
She talks about books. Yeah.
Yeah, she I remember talking to him and I'm like and she's like he was telling me that she reads like 5 or 6 books a week.
Yeah.
Like novels, like
Yep.
these huge books.
Yeah.
Like she's a voracious like reader, you know what I mean?
I
Um
think he ended up quitting his job, and then they
yeah.
both work on the channel full time. He does the
Yeah, yeah, he
editing and
does a lot of
videography,
editing.
and she does the reading and obviously the content. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah, no, no. I mean, like the whole watch content is just such a small little blip.
Yep.
It's like it's so insignificant to like everything else that's out there, and then like the interest for some of these topics, you just blow your mind away.
Yeah.
It just shows though that I think if you have a really good personality, um, and you are good in front of the camera, right? It goes a long, long way. And if you have something to say that is of value, it goes a long way, and you can do well whatever the topic is.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. For sure. For sure.
yeah,
Yep. Engaging I mean, look at the people who do well in the watch space.
yeah.
They're outliers. Like, I mean, Teddy, I'd
Hmm.
say his video quality,
Hmm.
he is engaging, but he has
Yep.
interesting guests as well. I mean, he's
Yep.
over 1,000,000 with watches. I
Yep.
mean, Urban Gentry is,
Hmm.
he's different. Mad Watch Collector is growing.
Yep.
Not necessarily my favorite style, but kudos to
Yeah.
him for the work he puts
Yeah.
in and being different. There's
Yeah.
something to be said for being different. It may
No.
not be my thing, but I respect the hell out of that guy.
Yeah. 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 Russ is great. Yeah. Me and Russ are pretty friendly. He's a great guy. But that shows, right? That comes
Yep.
through in his videos, whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
or this doesn't matter. It comes through his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Well, man, we made it through another night of Watch Soup.
Uh,
Thank you, Ladle Legion,
yes, thank you. Yep.
for out there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we were a little off the rails tonight. It was,
yeah, it's all
yeah,
right.
sometimes that's just how it goes. That's just how it
Sometimes
goes.
I promise I won't bring up canned fish on the watch soup again, unless you want to talk about it, Clayton.
Oh, I
Unless
don't
you're
mind
like,
talking about other things at all. Am perfectly happy talking about all kinds of things, and I definitely wanna learn more about investing. My wife and I were
yeah,
just talking about it tonight, and,
yeah,
how important it is. I'm one of these people, I have my own business, and I
hmm
wanna do it till I can't anymore. Like,
yeah,
I'm talking past retirement age if I
hmm
possibly can, but I know life's not perfect, and that may not
yeah,
happen, and I guess I have to be better prepared for, plan B if that were to happen, God forbid, an injury or an illness or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I
That's why
know
health is so
yeah,
important.
yep,
To stay healthy. And you know how you stay healthy. You eat a lot of
and
canned fish
fish,
because
yeah.
because of the
Not too
omegas,
much though,
but
arsenic,
not too much than it needs. Rotate the fish.
right.
Anyway, man, have a great night, Clayton.
Alright, you
Chad,
too,
have a great
guys.
night, and
Thanks, guys. Sorry we went off a little bit, but yeah,
and
that was fun.
we'll see
Thank
you
you.
we'll see you next week on another episode of Watch You. Good night.